Okay, my friends, so in this spreadsheet, we're going to see the percentage of oxygen changing in the room as our lungs remove some each time we breathe. Now, up in the spreadsheet, up here, I've put the volume of the room in cubic feet here. In this cell right here, volume of room in liters, it might be a little bit different than the one you got in the lab, and that's okay. I'm using the convert command. I'm not going to explain to you how to do it in this lab because you probably don't ever have to use it. The reason it's a little bit different is because the metric system and the imperial system don't actually shake hands well. So depending on how many decimals you round off in your conversions, you're going to get slightly different numbers. I have no idea how many decimals it's rounding off to, and whatever, it's fine. Here's the breathing volume. We said 0.5 liter per breath. Number of room occupants, not 30, it's 29. We're using 29 people. And then over there in number of breaths is just how many breaths we're taking. Now, at this point right now, it's a little hard to see on the graph, but there's a little tiny dot right there. See that little tiny dot? And that dot is 20.9% roughly, because we've only taken one breath. Now, notice how it says number of breaths each up there. That's because I've set the sheet up so that all we've got to do is talk about individual breaths, and then the spreadsheet takes care of multiplying that by 29 and doing everything in the background. So for example, I can change the number of breaths to say, what happens if we breathe 100 breaths each? I'm going to press enter. It takes it a couple seconds because the spreadsheet has got a crazy recursion. And I don't know if you notice right there, but that little line just increased. It's a little hard to see, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on the axis and then zoom back out. I'm going to format the axis and only have it go up to 200 breaths. There. That's our breaths changing over the first 100. So now we can go to 110, and you'll see the line extend a little bit more. And then we can go to 120, and you can see it change a little bit more. And then you can go to, and you might be looking at that and going, well, it's not changing. It's staying at basically 21%. It's not. It's just that it's changing very little. The room is so big and there's so few of us that it's not changing very much. Now I'm going to make this axis go back out further. Let's make it go out to, let's go out to like 3,000 breaths. Okay. And I'm going to actually let us take 3,000 breaths. Okay. And you'll see what happens now. There, you can see the O2 level is going down, and it's dropping as we take more and more breaths, which makes sense. We're taking oxygen out of the room and converting it to carbon dioxide. So what we're going to do for the remainder of this lab is we're going to keep going back and forth between dimensional analysis that I'm going to have you do manually, and checking out this graph and another graph that we're going to look at momentarily and look at what happens to the actual oxygen. Okay, read on.